Hey everyone, I'm Becky Stern, and today we're taking a look inside two new LED red light therapy masks, the CurrentBody Series 2 and the Shark CryoGlow. Keep watching to see me try them out, take them apart, and analyze the design and manufacturing of the circuitry inside. This video is sponsored by DigiKey, which carries tools for your own teardowns, as well as some of the components in the device's circuitry. Head to the link in the description for more info on all the parts we could identify. Let me know what I should take apart next in the comments. First up, taking apart the CurrentBody Series 2 mask. It's flexible like the previous version, but also more contoured to the shape of the face, especially under the chin. The Series 2 also has a few more IR LEDs in another wavelength, in addition to the red and near-infrared LEDs present in both versions. I quickly learned that what worked in my teardown of the Series 1 mask was not going to work for the Series 2. The outer layer, flex PCB, and inner layer are all fused together into one solid piece. So try as I might to separate them, I didn't make very much progress at all. So I switched my focus to the controller, where I found a battery and a circuit board. Now let's take apart the Shark CryoGlow. Its controller has a color screen, and in addition to its LEDs, it has under-eye cooling pads, created using Peltier coolers. If you remember when I took apart the Ember Wave, that heating and cooling wearable, you'll know it's pretty unusual to see these in battery-powered devices because they use a lot of power and also generate heat. I'll admit, it does feel really nice though. The front cover of the Shark is held on by 5 screws distributed around the edge. The bottom center one at the chin is covered by a soft rubber stopper, and the others are covered by hard plastic caps that were significantly harder to remove. I used a combination of nippers to dig in and an awl to pry out. Once I removed the front shell, the inner wiring of the mask became visible. There's a circuit board in the forehead area, and everything else plugs into it. I systematically removed the components in the order they were most apparent to me. The front LED fixture, the cheek fans, the circuit board, and finally the flex PCB with all the LEDs on it. Then I removed one of the under-eye coolers and the pads from the inside of the mask. There's a capacitive touch sensor in the forehead pad. No wonder this thing is so heavy. It's got more than a dozen metal screws loaded up inside. The controller has 2 PCBs, 2 batteries, and a small screen. Now it's time to take a closer look at the electronics inside with my channel's favorite electrical engineer, David Cranor. Oh, hey.
Hey, Becky.
Hi, David.
How's it going?
Good. Where'd you find that?
Oh, you know, just around. Oh.
Welcome.
Thanks. How's my skin?
Glowing.
Great.
David.
Hello, Becky.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Good. I see you have already tried the topic of today's teardown.
Yeah, you know, I've just been really, I've been really interested in taking care of my health and my body lately, and I know that we did that great teardown last time, and the contents were very impressive, so I thought that I might give it a try myself.
Yeah, it's cool. Last time we tore down the Series 1, this is the CurrentBody Series 2.
It seems to have much more design in it. Alas, poor York.
It looks like a little skull.
Well. Yeah, all right.
So if you wanted to compare it to the one last time, it's much more contoured.
Mm-hmm.
And it has this like chin bit. So
it feels a lot more comfortable, and the strap also is very...
It has a 2-point strap now instead of the 1-point strap. And then it still has this silicone feel to it.
Yes.
But I noticed when I tried to take this one apart that now the silicone and the PCB are actually laminated together.
I see that they've designed the PCB to flex better as well, like with all these little cuts, so that it can bend a lot more in like more complicated ways. Yeah,
and then the other major difference is the new wavelength of near infrared. There's now red and 2 different infrared wavelengths, but it's only around the area they've done clinical studies around, which I think is like the mouth and nose. So like here, you'll see 3 dyes.
Oh, you see 3 dyes. And there's like 4 places for LEDs in each of these lead frames, but there's only a maximum of 3 dyes.
So most of the mask is red and infrared, and then around the mouth area and the chin.
Yeah, that's cool.
A 3rd wavelength of light that is supposed to be good for that area.
Yeah, cool. It's nice that it's like all the same lead frame, so it makes the like layout really easy. But then they just put the part in with the dyes that are the color that they want. Cool. It's always nice to see a version 2 of something.
Yeah, right. Because the version 1's very flat, and this one, you can really see the design improvements.
Well, it's just like such a struggle to get any kind of product out the door that you got to get like minimum viable, whatever. But then if people like your thing, then you can actually go back in and make a version 2 and make it actually nice. And it looks like that's what they've done with this.
It is, I think, an order of magnitude nicer.
Great.
Here's the power. Here's what I could do for the power connection to expose it to you.
There it is.
Much like the other previous version, you're seeing a lot of strain relief going here, but there's also more wires. There were 2 wires going into the previous mask, and here there's like 5.
Yeah, that silicone potting is pretty good strain relief.
It's super hard to like deal with. Anyway, so it made me very frustrated to pry at it too much. So that's why that's not in more pieces, but I promise there's been plenty of destruction that's happened as part of this video.
I wonder what this outer type of silicone is. It's like smooth. It's
not sticky, touch. Right?
It's not weird sticky.
It's more matte.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the surface texture of the mold.
Maybe. I don't know.
But it is nice that it's like all one. It's all one solid piece. All of the layers are.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that this interface silicone is potted in after everything else is inside. It makes it like harder to break the PCB, I think. All right, well then moving on to the power cable. Power terminates with a, you can see all the wires are here. And then the mating connector is here. So there's the 6-pin connector that it plugs into on the board. And this is the board that's in the handset, so you charge the whole device through this USB port here. That's where the battery joins in.
And this is USB-C now.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of our friends are USB-C now. I haven't seen a new device with a non-C in a while.
It's just like a normal 18650.
Yep. One 18650 cell, so that'll be useful in other projects. And this board, it just has some big components that I'm assuming have to do with power. Here's the one button in the middle, the tactile switch. And there are a few LEDs. There's an LED under the button here, that's this one. And then there are 2 more LEDs up here. And I think those are for like when the battery's low, or like there's other indications that, and they show up underneath, they shine through the gray plastic.
They shine through the gray. What is this silk screen that's around them? Does that have something to do with like the width of this part?
I think so.
This is like a design. This is like a design assistance kind of thing. Oh, I bet that they when they were designing it, they might have done something where they like projected that down into a DXF or something.
Oh, to make sure that it's centered.
And then they could use that. They could use that profile to make sure that the LED is centered in the middle of where they wanted it. It gets fun when you get to the advanced levels of making things where you need to like integrate like your electronic design software with your mechanical design software, but like make the features and the board shapes and like where the LEDs are like make sense with features that are in the other thing. It can be kind of interesting to figure out how to bring that information to different parts of the design process. And
in this case, they used the silkscreen, and they could certainly have removed these silkscreen markings before sending it off to print, but why bother, right? They're just, you're doing a silkscreen on the whole board anyway.
It's the same price. It's literally a silkscreen like when you make a t-shirt.
Right, so you might as well just leave it in there. So those are the mechanical components. The electrical, you want to move on to the electrical components?
Yeah, let's move to the electrical components.
Which are like a little more fiddly. I always like to start with like the brain, which I think is this guy.
Okay, so what if we start at the microcontroller? What's the brain in this thing?
Okay, it is here. It is this chip called
In32G030.
I know, it's so easy to read it. Nation in 32G030. We have it over here.
So this is a Cortex M0, 48 megahertz Cortex M0. It's got UARTs SPI. Okay, so pretty standard. And this board does not have wireless, it looks like. I don't see any antennas, and also this microcontroller doesn't have an integrated...
no app.
No app.
No app. Mm-hmm. No app needed for red light therapy mask.
Needed for red light therapy.
Let's take a look. Moving around, we've got this little friend.
BC911. It's battery charger. Buck converter battery charger. So battery charging IC, because like lithium batteries, it's very important to condition them properly and take care of them when they're in a circuit. And so battery charger ICs like this, not only are they making sure that it's like charging in the right profile, but it looks like this one also has like, it'll see if the cell has shorts inside of it. It looks like it's got like some kind of temperature protection. It's really good when a device has a really good charge management subsystem.
Great, and that's up here closer to the USB jack, so that makes sense. I bet we'll find some more power stuff. So like this friend next door, BA4H. Here you are. This is a
just a big MOSFET.
P-channel MOSFET.
Yeah. Where is that? That's this one over here?
That's this one that's on the screen right now. Yeah, this one. And what I found was funny. Hang on. Where are you?
Often you'll find a MOSFET around boost converters.
Oh, this isn't the one. There's another one that like had a big plate underneath. We'll come up to it eventually. Okay, so transistor, basically. MOSFET's a type of transistor. It's going to help. It's often used as a power transistor. We've got this little guy that's not labeled and has a little hole in it. It's a buzzer.
Yeah.
It has, like, remember? Listen.
Yeah.
Right? Like, something's got to make that noise,
buzzer,
and this is the thing that makes that noise.
Mm-hmm. So that little hole in it is for the
sound to come out.
The sound to come out. Yeah, cool.
You want the sound to come out? You need a hole. And then there's a piezo in there that's vibrating.
Yeah.
And then moving right along, down here we've got two of the same part.
Ooh, what is that? FP7208.
And on our little thing, it's number 6. Actually, there's 3 of these, 6, 13, and on the other side of the board, 20. There's another one.
This is a LED driver. Voltage mode boost controller for LED driver. Oh, I see. So this over here, all this stuff over here is probably the stuff that's actually making and driving all the power out to your face.
Oh, I see. So you would need
Are there 3 colors of LEDs on this?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well then there could be 3 LED driving.
Red, infrared, and another wavelength of infrared.
I see.
3 of everything, right? 3 capacitors.
There's like this kind of thing, and then down here.
And then the other one's on the other side.
Chip. Yeah, and then on the back side.
There's a 701 and there's an LED driver chip for each channel of color, you're saying.
Yep.
What about these, like, let's just talk about the big guys
big
first.
Old blocks, yeah, they look
these
like
big
inductors.
old square blocks, inductors. And like, why would we need inductors for this thing?
Probably like power conditioning and like filtering. Like you don't want...
Because there's a lot of power output happening.
Yeah, there's like a lot of power output happening. And so like when you have a lot of electricity going somewhere, you also have a lot of like electric fields going places and like noise that can go places, and sometimes and also these like switching power regulators are like decently high frequency, so you could have noise jumping off of them. So you'll also see that this board, whoever designed this board, took a lot of care to like keep the power planes like separate and coupled to each other through these rows of capacitors.
And so on the back of the board, there's a third set of these components. There's 2 big inductors, 2 medium inductors, and 2 volt LED drivers. And then on the other side, there's like a set of those 3 things.
Yeah,
there's a big guy, a medium guy, and the LED driver. So, but
one thing that I do when I'm trying to learn how to make something is like, oh, I want to drive an LED like in that mask. Okay, I'll take the board apart. Okay, now I'm going to find the LED driver. Okay, now I'll look up the data sheet. The data sheet's going to have an example application circuit on it. And usually, board designers just take that application circuit and put it on their PCB. But then you can take that and trace each one of these in the PCB and see if they like tweaked it or did anything different. But oftentimes it can be intimidating at first to be like, oh, I want to make something like that. Oh crap, this looks like a lot of parts. But then you look at all the data sheets for the individual components on it, and they'll have the individual little recipes, and then you can kind of end up making
together.
something like this. Yeah.
Yeah, using this as like a, well, this works.
Let us see what the shark has to offer us.
It is more than you need.
It's more than you need.
Shark has many things to offer us.
Why is it called the shark?
I think because it makes you look like a shark. It makes your skin smooth like a shark.
Yeah.
This is the Shark CryoGlow, and full disclosure, CurrentBody actually bought this mask for me too, so that we could do the teardown of both of them and compare them.
It says shark.
This is a hard shell mask, so the part that touches your face.
That as much.
Well, you don't know because you haven't tried the part that touches your face. This is the part that touches your face.
Really intense injection mold. Yeah. Okay. Cool. What is this heat sink for?
The heat sink is for the Peltier cooler that does your under eye cooling.
Oh, it does your under eyes. Oh, it feels really good.
Feels nice, right? Imagine if it had electrical cooling happening.
Yeah.
I think I can put it back together.
You can do anything if you set your mind to it.
Well, I used the vise to take apart of the CurrentBody handset, and I think I broke the circuit board. So you can't always. And now there's screws falling down all over the place. But so that's the basic idea. The Peltier cooler lives here. The LEDs live in between. The LEDs live on this paper.
Wow, this is some.
That supports it, like this conforms around the paper, and then that goes.
Oh, so this is like a molded.
on the inside.
This is like a molded cardboard
Substrate for the PCB. Yep. Mm-hmm. So the PCB is like a fun shape with cuts, and then it.
I think this might be vacuum molded plastic.
Or paper. You don't think it's paper?
I don't think it's paper.
Oh, it's plastic. You're right. It's plastic. I just broke it.
I think they vacuum formed it or whatever.
But the thing is, it has to avoid the under eye area because the Peltier coolers are there. So that's kind of, I think, the major downside is that it doesn't put the red light therapy under your eye because those are being blocked by the coolers. But I overall think it's cool that it doesn't touch your face in so many places.
That is
true. It's more comfortable for me to wear. And I do like the under eye cooling.
It's less like claustrophobic.
That's cool too. This is like 3 injection molded parts. So I left one side intact so you could see how it fits over the heatsink. And as yet another injection molded piece of plastic. Actually, this one is made of 2 injection molded pieces of plastic that's duct that snap together. Let's start with the mask itself before we move on to the controller, if you don't mind, since there's like multiple PCBs and I don't want us to get confused. Let's start with the mask itself. So let's take a look at the Flex PCB under the microscope. The LEDs here are, the lead frames at least, are smaller than the ones on the CurrentBody, but it doesn't make much difference. I guess maybe when you're trying to cram them in really tight to make a screen. But if you're just trying to have a number of LEDs, then...
Should we compare them?
I don't
think we microscoped the other LEDs. I can grab this one.
Oh, sure, yeah, grab it. It's hard to microscope through the plastic, through the silicone.
Yeah. Well, you can see. Yeah, we can see. And then that's the 2-dye one. And then you said the 3 furs are...
Closer to the mouth.
Yeah, see, there's a 3rd one. I wonder why it's in the middle there. And I wonder why there's that, like, separation on the side.
But what's different about this one is we've got, you can see red, infrared. What's the 3rd color?
It's the black LED.
It's the black LED, yes. It's blue.
It's the dark bulb, yeah.
It's blue, and the Shark CryoGlow has a blue channel for acne. There's some research to indicate that red light can help with acne. So this mask has red, infrared, and blue, and you can have there's different treatment modes that have different combinations of them on at the same time. So smaller lead frames, but still also 3 dyes in one package. And then this one is also like the same thickness PCB, the same sort of like sticky stuff on the back. It's just not potted in silicone.
Yeah.
And then we have a little flat flex connector on the back that is how it connects to the PCB that drives.
I see. And then you have these little test points for when they want to test this.
So unlike the CurrentBody, this one has a PCB in the face part and in the controller part.
Yeah.
So that flat flex connector comes into this PCB and connects right here. And so this is the PCB. What I noticed right away that it has in common with the other product is that it's got these big honking inductors. And this one also has all these different connectors. Like everything was plugged in with a connector, so I theoretically should be able to put it back together.
Yeah.
I didn't break too much of it to take it apart. This circuit board is also shiny. Why is it shiny, David?
Probably because it's got a coating. Does it have a coating?
Yes.
Yeah, conformal coating.
Both of these devices are rated water resistant, yeah.
I see.
So they have gaskets and coatings. And then the other bit plugs into, which is, I imagine it's the which LEDs to turn on, like, you know, the signal between the microcontroller and the handset. But this one also has a brain. Here you are.
This is a
microcontroller.
48 megahertz.
16 kilobytes of flash. Dual op amps, dual comparators, PGA free mapping of digital functions.
Does this have Wi-Fi?
No, so it's not the brain then, is it? Because that part that we found that has Wi-Fi is in the controller.
Oh, so this is wow, okay.
So this is just for the stuff on
your face.
On your face. Because this is relaying, like, the handset is giving you power, ground, and then, like, you know, 2 signal wires. It can't possibly be controlling the fan and the Peltier and
from the thing, so it's only 2 signal wires plus power and ground.
Right. So what I'm thinking is that this thing is receiving the signal from the microcontroller in the handset and then distributing the instructions accordingly.
TX and RX right there.
Yeah. So the handset, I think, is instructing it on what to do, and at a high level, and then this board is doing it.
Controlling all the, like, cooling and the lights and all the everything. Because it would probably be cumbersome to have wires, like, all the way inside of this big wire that comes up from the handset to, like, control all those different functions. And also, it probably just makes more sense, like, since it's so complicated, it might make more sense just to have all that stuff here, because, like, when you have big long wires, they pick up interference.
Yeah.
And you can tell that they were concerned about interference because they put this choke on it.
And then next door to it is this friend.
BRT.
He has an interesting little diagram on him.
It's a big Schottky diode.
It is.
It's got a little. It literally has a picture of a
Schottky diode on it.
Fun, yeah.
So that's gonna allow the power to only go in one way and not.
Yeah, but it's so big that it is probably has something to do with, like, a booster buck circuit, because it's like physically large, so it's probably dealing with a lot of current.
We're seeing some
because you know, like, other diodes are like
are really little.
These are the dudes over here. Like, I mean, these are also. This is kind of the size that
of a normal diode.
Like, normally see just kind of, like, in circuitry, and, like, this is bigger.
It's mega.
So, yeah, if you want to size up, because and you know, it's got that big tab. What package is this? Like, I don't remember. Anyway, this package, you know, it has this big old
heatsink
tab on the back that gets soldered onto the board. Yeah, so this is put here on purpose to deal with heat dissipation and a lot of power.
There's the connector for the flat flex connector that goes to the
this
LEDs. Yes, sorry. There's another one that goes to the screen in the handset. All right, so that's the face board. It's like full of connectors to connect to all of the peripherals. Here are the rest of the parts from the face before we move on to the controller. Careful, there's thermal paste. Watch out for the thermal paste.
Yeah.
But the Peltier junction itself is this little gray guy. He's covered in thermal paste on both sides and fits into the heat sink.
Yeah.
And then this is the little iPad, haha, goes there.
That's cool.
So here, so cooling.
Yeah.
Even without having it on, it feels cool for a while.
And you could just 3D print a little handle with a battery in it and just have a personal.
That's what I would like.
Under eye cooler thing.
So yeah, this goes into the forehead. It goes in the forehead, like brace, like the place where it.
Right.
It's a standoff for your face, basically.
Applied directly to the forehead.
But that's just with a single wire coming out of it. That's just a capacitive touch sensor, right?
Yeah, probably. Or like a capacitive
Because when you take the shark
sensor.
mask off before it's done, like while the LEDs are on, the LEDs all dim. And this is how they must be achieving that. Is there anything else you want to look under the microscope? The handset has a screen.
Whoa. This is the screen.
Yep.
This looks like a smartwatch screen.
I know, right?
It probably is a smartwatch screen.
Yeah, and it has this cool rubber part around it.
Yeah.
And there's a little flat flex connector.
Again, another example of something that was developed in a different area of technology that they just has been manufactured in volume that they can then...
Brings the cost down. You wouldn't have this... This wouldn't have a screen if we didn't already have smartwatches.
Yeah, or maybe not this kind of... Like making an actual custom LCD screen is an extremely expensive thing, and you basically can't do it unless you're like Apple or Samsung or somebody. But if you do that because you want to make smartwatches, and like now all the machinery exists to produce all those things, and there's parts flowing around in the aftermarket and the market, and it's known, then other people start buying them and using them for other stuff. Yeah, cool. I like this little wheel.
Yeah, the wheel is nice. The wheel interfaces here with this little guy, so you can imagine what it feels like if you feel, or you could just put it back in.
Oh, it has a little clicky. I like it's got little
it's
detents.
a button and a knob.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
It's like for scrolling through a menu and then selecting.
Scroll wheel interface is great.
Yeah.
It's a great interface for embedded things. These
Can't beat it.
snap domes are nice.
All right, let's look at them under the microscope. So this is, what would you call this? It's like a jog wheel, but it's also a button. Is it a rotary encoder or is it a rotary switch? It's a rotary encoder, isn't it?
It's probably a rotary encoder with a button built into it.
Yeah. The screen...
Because it's not actually switching, right? It just like makes a signal when you turn it, when it clicks one way or when it clicks the other way. Yeah.
And then here's the connector for the flat flex screen. That whole rubber piece on this that's attached to the screen like goes over this part of the circuit board.
Yep, and you can see they've drawn the safe zones for the buttons. Circuit board designers. Yep. Also like this.
The silicone inset, yeah.
This stuff too. Yeah.
And then the buttons go over here down. These are what you were complimenting. This snap domes.
Love a snap dome.
So moving right along in the handset, we have a lot of parts to cover here. This is the ARM Cortex M33
with Wi-Fi.
With Wi-Fi.
So is there an app for this?
I don't think it currently has an app, but I could be wrong. I'll look it up and.
I bet it will one day. Is there an antenna? That's a beefy microcontroller.
These are all very like Chinese parts. Like there's not a lot of American companies that are coming up here. These are a lot of Chinese companies like Semtech Corporation and CCM Semicon. These are Chinese companies. Whereas sometimes we see, like we're used to seeing like a Texas Instruments or a, I don't know, Chipstar, also Chinese. All right, at the top of the other board, we've got the USB-C connector. Which you can see has some plastic around it. It also had a gasket inside the enclosure that was holding it in, so it's got that that IP rating that it's looking for, the waterproof rating. And then there's there's a bunch of passives on this board, and are those both inductors, you think? Both of these big coily guys?
Usually big squares are inductors. I mean, you can if you look on the side, I can see a coil.
And then just a bunch of passives. And inductors are passives too, right? So this whole board seems pretty passive-y, powery.
Yeah, it's probably for like conditioning the power and signal coming in from the USB-C.
Which we know is like always requires a bunch of extra parts that weren't required on previous USB versions.
Yeah, often. Especially if you're trying to like actually do like high voltage charging or like
take advantage of
high speed communications.
Take advantage of what it has to offer.
It's such a beautiful connector and such a crappy standard. Like I wish that there was. I can't believe when they were coming with USB-C, like no one was like, "Hey guys, we should like come up with a way of making sure that all the different modes of USB-C, you should be able to tell when you pick up a cable if it is gonna charge your device or burn it up." Yeah.
Nope. Here's that flat flex connector on the back of the screen. So I think that's the Shark. The Shark has two 18650 batteries.
Yeah, lasts longer. Well, also those Peltier
The Peltier junctions are going to use more power.
Yeah, they're not that efficient.
All right, let's look at the scans, David.
Let's look at the scans.
Here is the CurrentBody mask. They have to fixture it. You know, they can't put a whole human head inside the CT scanner, so they have to fixture it like with floral foam and stuff. And this one, it's just looking very floppy.
Yeah, floppy looking.
But you can see all of the LEDs individual.
The layout of the wires inside the PCB looks a lot less chaotic than version 1 of this as well.
Oh, really? I think they're both pretty chaotic. There's the cropped mask, so you can see the cross section. It's
the cross section of the LEDs. Yeah, they cut right through the middle.
And you can see that the plastic is now all the way around it instead of just in front of it. Mm-hmm. Justifies my
potted,
lack of being able to take it all the way apart without hurting my arm muscles.
Right.
And then here's a
detailed shot of the actual PCB itself. You can see those footprints for the LEDs. Here we go. Here's
just the circuit inside
PCB
the controller
with the battery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And here's just the PCB. So you can see where this is where the button interface is with the outside of the case. Yeah, I don't think we had a ton of mysteries. I think it's just nice to see on this cross section how integrated the LEDs are with the plastic. So that's really securely one piece.
I do think that it's very cool how you, like you were saying, how you can see how integrated it is with the silicone potting around the LEDs and the PCB. One big thing that's a main application space for companies like Lumafield is using their technology for auditing things that have been manufactured to make sure that there aren't weird voids or errors in casting.
Yep, they can measure the consistency of their mold output. If you send 10% of them, or even fewer, whatever, certain percentage of your units to be tested, and then you can see,
because you can't non-destructively take this apart. So
right, yeah. So a company like CurrentBody could hire Lumafield to scan some of their products to verify that everything turned out how it should. You want to look at the shark?
Let's have a look at the shark. That's going to be more exciting, I think.
Yeah, the shark has more parts.
Yeah.
And a lot of them live in the face. Mm-hmm. They also fixtured this one with floral foam, so you'll see these straws sticking out the bottom, and that's just from the fixturing to get it to stand upright in their scanner. So here's the overview with the plastic. Here's just the electronics. Wow. So you can see that PCB was right in the middle of the forehead, the Peltier junctions under the eyes, the little fans next to them, and then the power cable running down to the handset.
It's complicated.
It is.
I love seeing the fans in there.
And I love the experience of wearing the fans. I know that the overall mask is heavier, which is definitely a downside, but the fact that it feels like wearing a laptop on my face is actually a plus. I feel like a cyborg.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has a lot of screws too. I'm surprised that they used so many metal screws in this device. They could have.
There's so many different sizes of screws too.
No, there's only 3 different sizes of screws. Says me, who took it apart and could verify that there are only 3 sizes of screws. But they're heavy. Why didn't they use nylon screws? They could have reduced the weight by I don't know, at least a couple of grams. If they had switched to not used metal screws. So here's the face PCB. You can see that flat flex connector coming in from the flex PCB.
That's fun, yeah.
And then all of the things plugged in here. So all with connectors, not soldered on. So easy to assemble at the last, put everything together.
Last step, yeah.
Yeah. Central PCB, scrub left to right.
So looks like we're going down through it, right?
And this is the face PCB, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's your coils inside your inductors. Coil.
Verified inductors. And then we get down through the board. And then we see all the passives.
Here's the Peltier junction in the middle there with the big heat sink on it. And this is a funny artifact. This is just from the Peltier junction, right?
Yeah, that's not real.
That's not real. I mean, I know it's not real.
Yeah, but I wonder.
It's an artifact from the scan.
Yeah.
Having to do with this is what the Peltier junction looks like on the inside, all these little
structures.
Yeah, we know from watching the taking apart the Ember Wave.
The Ember Wave, yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to look at more at what we actually took that Peltier junction all the way apart, so you can see the little, if you want to see a destructive.
LED strip, looks like an LED strip.
Here's the chin area. So like this is the screw that holds the outer to the inner shell, and this is where that flex PCB that's like was a flat and now it's been pepakuraed into a round shape. It's where it like has the seam in the front.
It's nice that they made that little locating feature so that
it makes it easier to assemble, I bet, or easier to assemble accurately and therefore faster. And then, here's the LEDs around the face. This looks like some kind of bear, like stuffed animal face to me, with a bear nose and a bear mouth, like Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, and I like these funny cropped.
Are those the heat sink fins?
They're fins of the heatsink.
Heat sink fins, yeah.
Like how cropped they are. That's fun. So because this one is more complicated, we have an entirely separate scan for the controller. Here's just the metal. It's very, I don't know, it's a cyberpunk. It's super cool.
It is very cyberpunk.
With my under eyes chilled, who knows what I can't do.
Under eyes.
All right, let's look at the controller.
Yeah, let's look at the controller.
It feels really nice in your hand. Like it's a good weight.
Well, that scrub wheel with the button is a nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad that people are like finally figuring out that we don't actually want touchscreen controls on everything.
We don't. We want to be able to. We want a nice tactile knob.
So you should be able to like control your stuff without having to look at it.
I know, right? The fact that it has a color screen is a little silly to me, but hey, because like you said, they're using the screen from some other industry, some other product line.
Does this work on other skins other than face skin?
There's some studies about helping with other conditions too. I won't like spout nonsense here, but I know that Diana Cowan, who's got long COVID, ME/CFS, she has a big red light thing that they were putting over her while she's in bed. Just like, it can't hurt. That's the thing about red light therapy, is that like even if you don't believe it's doing something good, you also probably don't believe it's doing something bad. Okay, so if you're interested in looking at these lovely scans from Lumafield, there will be links in the video description where you can access these publicly accessible
so you can
scans.
just like actually load up this web client and look at these scans.
Yeah, that's true of all of our teardowns. Cool. Lumafield's been great about, they keep them private for us until the video goes live, and then they put them in
the public directory.
Yeah, so you can, anybody can go and, just like we were, and look through the scans and explore for yourself. I think that's cool. I think that's super fun.
Yeah.
I do understand why some people, when they see this, like in my community, when we've seen like the comments or just, talking to people about doing the previous CurrentBody teardown, a lot of electronics people's initial reaction is like, oh, gimmick, ripoff. They're just trying to prey upon some kind of hoax or hearsay.
Right.
And I think that like, where do you think that gut reaction comes from? Because they're scientists.
Just because it sounds sketchy to have someone tell you that if you buy a really expensive thing that looks goofy, it shines light on your face and like now you'll be prettier.
Yeah, it's just that, isn't it? Spend the money, get prettier, and people distrust that.
There's a
sales point.
Yeah, there's a long rich history of like weird devices for
snake oil
beauty products. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I wish that the electronics folks would be more open-minded because that their first reaction would be curiosity instead of skepticism, because
skepticism's okay. I think it's the scorn.
Right? Like ladies, they'll fall for anything. And there is actually scientific data and studies, and more coming out all the time, that show that red light it just like increases the metabolism of your cells. So that basic fact on its own makes your skin prettier faster, or as pretty as it was going to be, but now faster.
But now faster.
And promotes healing, and it's being studied in a bunch of different healthcare contexts, and not just skin. So I think that that's cool, and I'm interested in reading the studies. Whenever I see something like this, it makes me want to go, okay, where's the science to back it up? I want to go on Shark Tank and be like, show me the studies, and then I'll invest, because like now that there's so many, that there's like an echo chamber effect, right? Where somebody publishes a study, the study gets read, people are like, okay, this is real. I'm going to make a product that uses the techniques in the study or replicates the conditions of the study in a at-home device, and then I can market it and say that it does that. I know that then makes a lot of clones happen.
Right.
And clones could be, we've determined that it is the very specific wavelength of light that does the good stuff.
I mean, as long as it's the right color, it shouldn't matter which.
It should be, but that's the thing that's hard to know that you're getting.
How specific does the wavelength of light need to be?
Well, the thing is, we don't have studies about how specific the wavelength of light needs to be. We have studies using specific wavelengths of light.
Right.
And so there's this chicken before the egg thing. Like, sure, we need to do more studies about like what happens if you use just the adjacent frequencies that may exist in a less precise mask. What I think CurrentBody's doing that's interesting is helping to get over that customer skepticism of like, are my LEDs actually right LEDs?
Are they like bending their LEDs when the LEDs are manufactured and like all that stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So they're checking the LEDs for their wavelength output, and they're only yielding the ones that are within their spec, and then they're also including in the product a like trackable thing that shows so you can look up the tests for your specific LEDs in your mask to verify that like the provenance of the LEDs, kind of like this are genuine such and such wavelength LEDs from the LED region in France. Like they're
exactly.
And I think that that's an interesting thing that's going to...
All their LEDs are generic sparkling LEDs, yeah.
Yeah, but because they're taking a higher precision stance on which LEDs they're picking, they kind of have to use it in their marketing.
Do we know anything about Shark?
Shark does, because here's the thing, it's like this combination of marketing and the science, right? Shark doesn't have such marketing claims about their LEDs.
Well, they're clearly going real hard on the aesthetic and the complicated.
And it does feel like a luxury device to use, even if it does feel like strapping a laptop to your face, which I kind of like. I feel more cyborg that way.
Yeah.
But so I think it's just this interesting cultural awareness. You know how like because of COVID, we all have like a really much higher cultural awareness of infectious disease terms and knowledge, just because we all cared for an amount of time.
Yeah.
I think that this feedback loop is going to get better because the more data is going to come out, more studies will be done that'll increase the cultural understanding of the fact that red light can have different wavelengths. And then I think, the beauty customers are going to get more savvy and technologically in this regard. I think that's cool. But there's nothing to prove that the slightly wrong wavelength of red light isn't going to give you the same benefits. But like, if you're trying to get the benefits and you're willing to spend all this money, why wouldn't you want the verification that it is exactly the right wavelengths?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're actually trying to do a science-based approach, like that's information that you need.
Worth noting that neither of these are a startup with this being their single product. These are companies with multiple products that have R&D money to put into this new product
it's really
area.
Interesting to see the like design vibe is so different between the two of them.
Yeah, I feel like the CurrentBody is really efficient and wants to lower their price as much as possible while delivering what it promises, and this one wants to give you everything for everything's sake, and like
well, I just feel like
it feels like a Ferrari.
I feel like the CurrentBody design is just it's more elegant.
At
it would
the
be
same
nice
time,
if it stood off. You're saying that the main thing you don't like about this one is that you have to have the silicone like touching your face the whole time.
Yes, it's a sensory issue for me, and I know that.
But that's fixable. They could just add the standoffs in.
Well,
here.
there's something about it pressing onto your skin that transmits the light better. There's some studies that are showing the pressing into the skin results in more of the light penetrating than it just bouncing off. So there is like theoretically a reason why it needs to be touching your skin, and I just am very sensorily.
You just don't want that. Yeah.
I'm just a really sensitive type of girly who isn't really into skincare in the first place. No offense, anyone, but I care so much as I am alive and have skin. I did manage to put the Shark back together, but turns out the screen was damaged at some point because only a bit of it was working. This was enough for me to activate the therapy modes, though, to prove that the mask does indeed still work after I put it together. Maybe I can find a replacement for this screen. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with a friend. I hope you'll subscribe with the bell to be notified of my future uploads, subscribe to my email newsletter, and find me on your favorite social media platform. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This video was made with support from my sponsors and generous donations from viewers like you through Patreon and YouTube memberships.